Alice is having quite the adventure, isn't she? So let's take a second and I'll quiz you on what happened in chapter 3 and 4. Oh, don't sulk, sweetheart. I promise this'll be fun. So let's see. Alice came out of the pool of tears she left with all those animals, and the mouse had everyone sit down and tell them a story. The driest thing I know, he said. I found it entertaining, but I suppose that it is a bit of a dull topic for some. So the dodo came up and suggested they do what? Do you remember? It was a... That's right, it was a race. I'm so proud of you. So they all ran around, got dry, and then sat down again, and the mouse told a story. But silly little Alice wasn't paying attention. She was busy focusing on the mouse's tail and heard a very different version. And the mouse wasn't happy when he noticed she wasn't listening, and so he left. And then she mentioned how great her cat... Do you remember Alice's cat's name? It starts with a D. Dinah! Good girl. Anyway, Alice mentioned her cat is great at catching mice. And great at catching birds, too, which the birds didn't like, so they flew away and she was left alone. You know, my cat's really bad about that sort of thing. Last time she saw a mouse, she just ignored it and moved on, although she likes watching birds and squirrels. It's a shame she's not here in bed with you, since she would curl up next to you and you can pet her until you fall asleep. Maybe she'll come in a little bit. Would you like that? Alright, back to the story. She hears the rabbit come by again, and the rabbit tells her to get his gloves and fan. And being the ever so helpful girl, just like you, she goes off immediately to fetch them for him. Would you go and fetch things for me if I said I needed you to get them? Of course you would, because you're such a sweetheart. And you know I'm probably going to reward you lady for it anyway. So she goes in the house, finds the fan and gloves, and then finds another bottle. I want to say it's a bad idea she just drinks from the bottles, because there's some bottles that have things in them that make you sick if you drink them. But I'm going to insist you never drink from a bottle you don't know what's in it. Alright, kitten? That's a good girl. The drink makes her grow big, so big she fills the house. Then the rabbit comes with Pat and the other animals, and they try to figure out how to deal with her in the house. Sending Bill in the chimney, poor Bill, throwing pebbles at the house, the rabbit stating they need to burn down the house. Finally, she noticed the pebbles turn into little cakes, and she eats one, and it makes her small again. Then she flees into the woods, but she comes across another animal in the woods. Do you remember? I think you do. That's right, it was a puppy. But it was really big compared to Alice, who was still really small. She got it to play with the stick until it was tired and ran away until she found a mushroom. And after looking all around it, she finally looked on top. And that's where we begin chapter 5. So, before we get going, are you ready? You got yourself dressed for bed? Okay, did you brush your teeth? Alright, and you brushed your beautiful hair. That's it. And balance the checkbook. Oh, wait. That's for me to do. I'll take care of that later. Nice and comfortable in bed? Oh, I'm so proud of you. Alright. Enough gushing over you for now. Let's get to the story and find out what Alice does.